Everyone, in today's video, let us learn about organelle genome. So, moving on to the meaning of organelle genome. Organelle is a membrane bound organ that is present in the cytoplasm of a cell. So, membrane bound structures are present inside the cytoplasm of a cell that we call it as mitochondria or chloroplast, Golgi complex, or endoplasmic reticulum. So, all of this is called as organelle. So some of these organelles like mitochondria and chloroplast will have DNA inside them. The genome present inside the chloroplast or mitochondria is called as organellar genome or organelle genome. So mitochondria is usually seen in animals and plants cytoplasm, whereas chloroplast is seen only in plants. So mitochondria and chloroplast are the organelles that are found inside the cytoplasm, but they are found outside the nucleus. So they are present outside the nucleus, but they are present in the cytoplasm of a cell. Now these mitochondria and chloroplast organelles contain genomes in them that we call it as, if it is a mitochondrial genome, then we call them as empty DNA or mitochondrial DNA. If it is a chloroplast DNA, then we call them as chloroplast DNA or cpDNA. Apart from this, the DNA that is present in the organelle genome is also called as extra chromosomal genes or extra chromosomal DNA because they are not part of our chromosome, because chromosomes is always found inside the nucleus, whereas these are found outside the nucleus inside the mitochondria or chloroplast. So they are called as extra chromosomal genes. They are also called as cytoplasmic genes because they are present in the cytoplasm. They are called as organelle genes because they are present inside the organelles like mitochondria and chloroplast. They are also called as extranuclear genes because they are not a part of nuclear genes. Inside the nucleus, if the gene is present, they are called nuclear genes. Since these are present outside the nucleus, they are called as extranuclear genes. So how did these genes come into existence? How did mitochondria came into existence, and how did chloroplast came into existence? That we are going to study the origin of mitochondria and chloroplast, which is clearly explained by a theory called as endosymbiotic theory. In endosymbiotic theory, let's see what happens. Initially, there was an ancestral prokaryote. The cell which evolved was a prokaryotic cell. We all believe that first the prokaryotes evolved, then the prokaryotes developed to become an eukaryote. That is what we have been studying. So, initially, there was an ancestral prokaryote. So, this ancestral prokaryote had plasma membrane, cytoplasm, and DNA in it. So this plasma membrane was folded and they infused into the cell. So infusion of plasma membrane inside the cell gave rise to the nuclear membrane around the DNA. Along with the nuclear DNA, they also formed endoplasmic reticulum and Golgi apparatus. So the prokaryotic cell plasma membrane infused inside the cell. It folded inside the cell to form a nuclear membrane, endoplasmic reticulum, and Golgi apparatus. You can see here the plasma membrane inner foldings gave rise to the nuclear envelope, that is nuclear membrane, where nucleus was formed, and then the same plasma membrane inner folding formed the endoplasmic reticulum as well. Also, Golgi apparatus is similar to the endoplasmic reticulum, but they are not attached to the plasma membrane, as we all know. So therefore, nuclear envelope, endoplasmic reticulum, and Golgi apparatus was formed by the inner foldings of the plasma membrane. When plasma membrane infused inside the cell, when it folded inside the cell, these was formed. Later on, a prokaryotic bacteria, a aerobic heterotrophic prokaryotic bacterium, which is usually believed to a photosynthetic purple bacterium, entered the eukaryotic cell over a billion years ago. So the mitochondria, that we call it as mitochondria, the eukaryotic cell engulfed the prokaryotic purple bacterium, which now we call them as mitochondria. Later, a photosynthetic cyanobacteria was also engulfed. You can see here, a photosynthetic cyanobacteria was also engulfed by a eukaryotic cell, which we now call them as chloroplast. So, mitochondria is a proteobacterial endosymbiont which became specialized inside the eukaryotic cell for respiration. Initially, mitochondria was a prokaryotic bacteria which was engulfed by a eukaryotic cell. So, that mitochondria was a protobacterial endosymbiont which became specialized inside the eukaryotic cell for respiration. Cyanobacterial endosymbiont, because it was engulfed, it came inside the cell, that is they are living in symbiotic association, that is why we call them as endosymbiotic theory. They are now living in symbiosis. The mitochondria was initially a bacteria. After it has been engulfed, it is living like a symbiont which became specialized for respiration inside the eukaryotic cell, whereas cyanobacterial endosymbiont became specialized for photosynthesis in the plant lineage. So that we call it as chloroplast. Since these both the bacteria and the cyanobacteria was engulfed and now they are living in symbiotic association with each other, this theory is called as endosymbiotic theory. So moving on to the features of organelle genome. What are the features of organelle genome? They have certain salient features. The first feature is they are small. The organelle genome, sorry, not the nuclear genome, the organelle genome is small, but they are very essential. They are found inside the mitochondria and plastid. Mitochondria is the site for respiration and plastids are the site for protein synthesis. Since the organelles, this next point is the organelles are found multiples in a cell. There is no one mitochondria in a cell. Always mitochondria exists as multiple organs. So many mitochondria is present inside the cytoplasm. So many chloroplast is found inside the cytoplasm. Because the organelles are multiple in number per cell, therefore the genomes are also multiple. It is seen that 20 to 20,000 genomes exists per cell. Organelle genome exists per cell. Apart from the nuclear genome, 20 to 20,000 genomes exist, organelle genomes exist per cell. And it depends on the cell type. Because the organelles are many in the cell. Only one mitochondria is not present inside a cell. There are many mitochondria. Because there are many mitochondria, there are many mitochondrial genome. There are many chloroplasts in a plant cell, because of which there are many organelle chloroplast genome inside a cell. Now, these genomes is present as a nucleoid inside the cell. Because the mitochondria was known to be a prokaryotic cell initially, the mitochondrial genome is a nucleoid. Remember, you should not get confused with the nucleosomes. Nucleoids are the structures without a membrane around it. The DNA is present without a membrane around it. If a membrane is present, then we call that as nucleus. If a membrane is present around the DNA, then we call that structure as a nucleus. If the DNA is just randomly arranged in the cytoplasm, then that we call it as nucleoid. In prokaryotes, we find nucleoids. And it is also known by endosymbiotic theory that mitochondria and chloroplast are prokaryotes. That is why the genome is organized as nucleoids and not as a nucleus. It is organized as nucleoids. Now, these nucleoids help in the formation of certain protein complexes that are required for the functioning of mitochondria and chloroplast. Then, the genome is a non-Mendelian inheritance. That means, according to Mendelian theory, the chromosomes, half chromosome come from the mother and half chromosomes come from the father to a child. Whereas here the organelle genome comes completely from the mother, because the cytoplasm, the egg will have nucleus and the cytoplasm. The cytoplasm of the mother egg cell contains the mitochondria. Therefore, This is a non-Mendelian inheritance. That is, the mitochondrial genome is inherited maternally and not paternally, because maternal cytoplasm is usually used for the fetus formation or zygote formation. Now, this my organelle genome is necessary for a cell, but the genome itself is insufficient. It is not enough for the organelle to function. Therefore, it takes the support of nuclear DNA as well for the functioning of the organelle. A necessary genome is present inside the mitochondrial genome, inside the mitochondria or chloroplast. Necessary amount of genome is present inside the mitochondria and chloroplast, but only that is not enough for the organelle to function completely. Therefore, mitochondria and chloroplast take help of the nuclear genome to function. Whereas this genome that is present inside the mitochondria and chloroplast will usually help in the formation of proteins that are required for mitochondrial functioning, like some membrane bound proteins are there, no, like for example complex 1, complex 2, complex 3, cytochrome C, cytochrome D, ATPase of the mitochondrial cell. All of this is produced by the mitochondrial genome. Now all these proteins that I mentioned, they are present as the membrane bound proteins in the membrane of the mitochondria. So all these complexes are usually, enzyme complexes are usually produced by the mitochondrial genome itself. The mitochondrial genome also support the organelle gene expression to produce rRNAs, tRNAs and ribosomal proteins. Mitochondria also has ribosomes, rRNA, tRNA. So they are produced by the organelle genes only, mitochondrial genes and chloroplast genes. So moving on to the mitochondrial DNA. The mitochondrial genome is a circular double-stranded DNA. We know that even in a prokaryotic cell, the DNA is present as a circular double-stranded. So similarly, the mitochondrial genome is a circular double-stranded DNA. The mitochondrial genome in human is built of 16,569 DNA base pairs. Now this is found in human mitochondrial DNA. The mitochondrial genome contains 37 genes that encode 13 proteins, 22 tRNAs and 2 rRNAs. The 13 mitochondrial gene encoded proteins. The 13 genes will encode 13 proteins. So these 13 proteins will help the cell to instruct to produce the protein subunits like the enzyme complexes that is required for oxidative phosphorylation. What is oxidative phosphorylation? Electron transport chain. Electron transport chain occurs on the membrane of the mitochondria. So there are various protein complexes involved like complex 1, FES, FDS. Complex 1 contains FES, FDS regions. Complex 2 has so many other subunits like cytochrome B, cytochrome A. Cytochrome C is present, ubiquinone is present. So all of these enzyme complexes are present on the mitochondrial membrane, which are essential for oxidative phosphorylation, for the ATP synthesis. The main function of mitochondria is to synthesize ATP. So for ATP synthesis, this helps, all the complexes helps. So the 13 mitochondrial gene will encode for these enzyme complexes that is present in the mitochondrial membrane, which makes the mitochondrial membrane to be called as a powerhouse of the cell. Why do we call mitochondria as powerhouse of the cell? Because they generate ATP. For the generation of ATP, there are various enzymes required, various complexes required. So all these complexes are encoded by these 13 protein encoding genes. So you can see in this genome, the human mitochondrial DNA contains 16,569 base pairs, and they have genes which will encode for certain complexes like this cytochrome B, cytochrome C, complex 13, then ATPase 6, ATPase 8, there is complex 9, complex 12, like this. So there are various complexes present on the mitochondrial membrane for oxidative phosphorylation to take place. All these are encoded by the 13 protein encoding genes. The small mitochondrial genome is not able to independently produce all of the proteins that is required for the mitochondrial functionality. I have told this previously also. Since the genome is small, they cannot produce all the proteins that is required for the mitochondria to function. Thus, mitochondria will rely on the nuclear genome to produce some of the proteins that is required for the functioning of the mitochondria. One mitochondria contains at least dozens of copies of its mitochondrial genome. That is 12 copy of its mitochondrial genome is present in one mitochondria. One mitochondria will have dozen of its genome, dozen copies of its genome. In addition, each cell contains many mitochondria, numerous mitochondria. Therefore, for a given cell, it contains for a cell it contains several thousand copies of its mitochondrial genome, but a cell will have only one copy of nuclear genome. A cell will have one copy of nuclear genome, whereas mitochondria, inside the mitochondria there are at least dozens of copies of its genome. Again, in a cell there are numerous mitochondria, because of which a cell will contain several thousand copies of its mitochondrial genome, but the nuclear genome is only present as a single copy. The mitochondrial genome is not enveloped. That is why we call them as nucleoid genome. It is present as a nucleoid, whereas the nuclear genome is always seen as a packaged genome in the form of chromatin or chromosomes. The mitochondrial genome contains few, if any, non-coding DNA sequences. In mitochondrial DNA, there is only 3% of the non-coding DNA, whereas the nuclear DNA has 93% of the non-coding DNA. In the mitochondria, only 3% of the DNA is non-coding. Non-coding means they do not code for any proteins, whereas in the nuclear genome, 93% of the nuclear genome is non-coding DNA, that is, they do not code for any proteins. Some mitochondrial coding sequences, once the mitochondrial genome is transcribed into mRNA, the coding sequences we call it as codon. Three nucleotide base pairs, we call it as codons. One codon. Three sequence will form one codon, so that is why we call them as triplet codons. They do not follow universal codon usage rules. That is AUG, UAG, UGA. These are stop codons in the cell. In the cytoplasm, if they are present, then UGA, UAG, UGA, UAA, UAG, they are all stop codons. So UGA is a stop codon universally, whereas inside the human mitochondria, UGA will code for tryptophan, an amino acid tryptophan. AGA, universally it will code for an amino acid arginine, whereas in mitochondria it acts as a stop codon. AGG also codes for arginine universally, but in mitochondria they act as stop codon. AUA will code for isoleucine universally, whereas in mitochondria they will code for methionine. Like this, some of the codons that is present in the mitochondria will not follow the universal codon usage. We know that the codon is universal, that all the cell, whether it is prokaryotic or eukaryotic, they will follow the same codon rules, whereas mitochondria will differ from that. Again, the mitochondrial mode of inheritance is strictly maternal. That is, it do not follow the Mendelian inheritance. This will follow non-Mendelian inheritance because the cytoplasm is from the mother. So therefore, the mitochondrial mode of inheritance is strictly maternal. Therefore, any mitochondria associated disease if we find in a person, then that is always inherited by mother. So mitochondrial genes on both DNA strands are transcribed in a polycistronic manner. Usually in a eukaryotic mRNA, it is monocistronic, whereas inside the mitochondria, it is polycistronic manner because all the prokaryotic cell will follow this polycistronic manner. So what is polycistronic then? Polycistronic means a large mitochondrial mRNA. So for example, here I have written, here the image shows prokaryotic mRNA. Since mitochondria was known to be a prokaryotic cell, they follow the same method wherein a large mitochondrial mRNA. So this is a large mitochondrial mRNA. They contain the instructions to build a protein, many different proteins. So this is protein 1, this is protein 2, and this is protein 3. So 2 to 3 different types of proteins is encoded in only one large mitochondrial mRNA, for which the translation sites are different. The start site is different. This is start site is different. So the start site of one, say for example, the start site of this protein is a stop site for this protein. That is what is said by this image. So this is polycistronic mRNA on which polyribosomes will be formed. That is, ribosomes will be bound here to synthesize this protein. Ribosomes will be bound here also to synthesize this protein. So a large mRNA molecule is having information to code many different proteins, and the translation start site of one protein is a translation stop site for another protein. That is what this polycistronic mRNA means. Whereas eukaryotic cell gene will contain only mRNA that codes only for one protein. That is all about mitochondrial DNA. Moving on to the chloroplast DNA. I forgot to mention that the replication of mitochondrial DNA is like the prokaryotes. They will undergo unidirectional method of replication. And also chloroplast DNA. Chloroplast DNA also replicates in a unidirectional manner. Chloroplast DNA is also known as plastid DNA. If we call it as chloroplast DNA, then the short form is cpDNA. For a plastid DNA, it is ptDNA. Chloroplast DNA is again circular double-stranded DNA molecule like prokaryotes. Chloroplast genome are relatively larger. In higher plants, it is usually seen to be 140 kilobase pairs, and in lower eukaryotes, it is seen to be 200 kilobase pair. Again chloroplast like mitochondria, they also have multiple copies of genome per organelle, and there are many chloroplasts inside the cell, because of which even chloroplast genome is several thousand genomes per cell. Now these genomes will vary in size, and they are large enough to code for about 50 to 100 protein as well as RNAs and tRNAs. They will code 50 to 100 proteins, and they also code for RNAs and tRNAs. rRNAs and tRNAs. Now the cpDNA, that is chloroplast DNA region, include large single copy and small single copy regions. What does single copy region means? Single copy regions are the regions which will code for proteins. They are the genes. So this has short single copy regions and long single copy regions, which are separated by the inverted repeats. These regions that you are seeing, they are inverted repeats. So the chloroplast DNA has a small single copy short single copy region, that is short genes which will code for proteins, and long genes which will code for different types of proteins, which are separated by inverted repeats. The variation of the length of the genome, the variation in the length of the genome of chloroplast is because of the presence of this inverted repeats. Now moving on to the genome itself. This is a chloroplast genome in a liverwort. So genes for rRNAs, tRNAs, ribosomal proteins, they're all encoded by the chloroplast genome. So there are genes which will code for rRNA, there are genes which will code for tRNA, and some of the ribosomal proteins. Now they are all encoded by the chloroplast genome. Some of the polypeptide components that is required for the photosynthesis to capture the sunlight, photosystems are required. Photosystem 1, photosystem 2, certain complexes are required like cytochrome C, cytochrome B and all. All these are again coded by the chloroplast genome. Also, if you remember enzyme RUBP, ribulose bisphosphate carboxylase enzyme. This enzyme is an essential enzyme inside a chloroplast that is also coded by a chloroplast DNA. RNA polymerase that is required for the chloroplast genome to replicate, that is also produced by chloroplast genome. You can see there are regions which will code for RNA polymerase. There are region which will code for a Rubisco, that is ribulose bisphosphate carboxylase enzyme. There are regions which will code for tRNA, 16S rRNA. Like this, chloroplast genome will code for rRNA, certain proteins that is required for capturing of the sunlight, that is photosystem 1, photosystem 2 and various complexes. It also contains a gene which will code for Rubisco enzyme, also RNA polymerase enzyme. Again, chloroplast DNA also will follow non-Mendelian inheritance. That is, it is again not from the half of the chromosome is from the father and half of the chromosome is from the mother in case of the Mendelian inheritance, whereas here this is completely maternal. Here, the chloroplast DNA will undergo self-replication in a unidirectional manner. It do not depend upon the nuclear genome for the replication. The chloroplast genome is segregated in plants by somatic segregation. That is, when a plant cell is dividing, the chloroplasts are also equally divided into two cells. This is inherited independently of nuclear genes. It will be inherited inside the two dividing cells independently of nuclear genes. Nuclear genes will get separated. Half of it during cell division, half of it will get separated into one cell and half of it will go to another cell. Whereas the chloroplast is somatic segregation. So half of the chloroplast will go to one cell and half of the chloroplast will go to the next cell. That is why we call them as somatic segregation. So initially the genome sequencing of chloroplast was first done in liverwort and tobacco. It was found that tobacco DNA is larger and it contains about 150 genes and the liverwort DNA contains 134 genes. Thank you. That is all about the organelle genome. If you have any doubts, you can contact me. Thank you, class.